10th gen and 11th gen Civic owners, welcome to the channel once again. For those of you that are new, I'm JP with EdgeAutosport.com. Thanks for joining us. We have a handful of items here that we're going to show you, and I'm going to end by installing this piece, which is a strut tower bar on our own Civic because we don't have one yet, and I really like the look of this one. It's super clean. So we have some PRL parts laid out for us right here that I just wanted to introduce. PRL came out with these, I think, over the last year or so, but we've recently gotten them in stock and added them on the site. So I just wanted to kind of do a brief little overview of a handful of nice PRL bits for you. PRL, we love PRL. They make awesome stuff. It's all made in the USA. It's all machined in-house, designed in-house. These guys are serious about performance. And they make really, I mean, arguably the best stuff for the Civic in whatever they make it for. It's definitely high up there on the list. So we love selling their parts. We know that we're gonna have happy customers when we do. So anyway, we'll start over here on the left. They have 5 different shift knobs. This black one right here is super light. They also make this in a white one. It's the only one that's not up here. We did not get that one in stock yet. But this is Delrin. It's very, very light. You know, it doesn't heat up very much, which is, you know, that's important to some people, because if you've ever had an aluminum shift knob and you let your car sit out in the sun, it gets like stupid hot, and you come back and you burn your hand trying to shift into first gear or reverse out of the parking lot. So, you know, so that's, if you don't like that effect, then Delrin is a great option. Red and black, both kind of a satin finish. These are aluminum. These are a little bit heavier than the Delrin, not quite as heavy as the stainless, but these are the aluminum versions. Super nice. I love that satin kind of matte finish pretty much on anything. So my personal probably favorite for color or appearance is those. And then you got the stainless steel. This is definitely, I don't know if this is advertised as a weighted knob, but it is weighted for sure. This thing is heavy. It's steel, stainless steel, nice and polished up for you. And that thing is gonna feel real nice shifting through the gears, will help you shift through the gears because of how weighted it is. So that's good. That's a nice option too. All these metal ones come with this nice little kind of soft pouch here. You can use that to put over your shift knob when you leave the car so that it doesn't get super hot. It's kind of a nice little add-on there. So the metal ones come with that. And then of course, the adapter to mate it to the stock shifter rod, the stock shifter assembly. So your boot goes right over this. And these actually do come with zip ties so that on the inside, it'll lock it down to this adapter nicely. And then the shift knob just spins right onto these threads. So just some nice quality shift knobs. Sometimes it's the small things that really make the difference. These oil caps right here are very, very nice additions to any engine bay, especially when you consider they're replacing a little plastic piece with a little oil symbol on it, reminding you to put 0W20 in your car. Listen, if you don't need to be reminded of that, this is a much better option. They have the rubber O-rings. They have a nice hex to take it off if you need to take it off. They're not to screw it on. Screwing it on is for the outside, just with your hand. If you need to take it off and maybe it's too hot or something like that, you can use a socket, but a couple nice, you know, machined aluminum oil caps. Always makes your engine bay look a lot nicer. Again, it's the little things, right? Let's go over to this bad boy right here. This is a rear motor mount. In any front wheel drive, really torquey car, which, you know, I mean, from the factory, it's not like a complete animal, but it does make a lot of torque for a front wheel drive car from the factory, obviously because it's turbocharged. So when that mid-range torque hits, you know, the engine flexes a lot. This thing is like, you can't even compare the stock mount to this thing. This is such a massive upgrade. I mean, this is so beefy and just thick and strong. It's like ridiculous. Holding it in your hand, you're like, man, this thing is serious business. The best thing about this mount is that it uses the EPDM rubber bushing, the solid bushing. This is like ideal for, I don't know, for really any car, because the solid bushing, you know, it's going to prevent a lot of that movement, but it's still going to absorb some vibration and harshness, and it resists heat better, and it doesn't break down over time as much as, like, you know, the silicone, or sorry, the urethane equivalents. So I like this a lot better. All the nice mounts typically have this EPDM rubber bushing in it. So, I mean, you cannot go wrong with this thing. We have the Hasport one in there right now, which is another solid mount. So we're not going to do like an install on this thing, but I mean, this thing is as good as a rear motor mount's going to get. So, and it's nice and shiny. These little components right here are shifter bushings. These 4 right here are going to sit at the base of the entire shifter assembly. To be honest, in order to install these, if you were just going to install just these, it's a pretty big install just for that, for this kind of, like, you know, small of a piece. But they are pretty effective. They help keep the shifter assembly planted to the chassis of the car so that it's just not any extra flex and movement like with the stock rubber bushings. Now, attached on the other end of the cables that are attached to the shifter assembly are bushings in the engine bay, where they're sitting attached to an arm on the transmission that are shifting the gears on the other side. These things are much stiffer than stock. The stock ones have rubber. They're flexible. They're more tolerant. You know, they avoid the vibration in your hand, and you know, they just make it for a little bit of a mushy feel. So these are less tolerant. They don't move as much. They're a little bit more crispy when you're floating through those gears. So this is a nice upgrade. This is much easier of an install to do than just this. So if you just want to, like, you know, have something to do and have it be a little bit easier, these 2 bigger bushings in the engine bay shifter linkage is a good choice. So, and lastly, out of all these bits is I think they call it the throwback strut bar. And I mean, I don't know the full story behind that naming of the part, but I can pretty much assume, you know, a lot of Honda guys back in the day was like all about chassis enhancements and chassis stiffening, and strut tower bars are kind of like the easy chassis stiffening that anybody can easily perform on their car. This thing sits on the top of the shock towers in the engine bay, and it's just a super easy install. So tightens up the chassis, keeps it from flexing from side to side. Anyway, we're gonna get this thing on the car. If you have any questions, let us know about any of these things or any other PRL parts. We're happy to answer them for you. If you like this video, if it helps you, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll meet you over at the car to install this thing. This is one of the easiest installs you can possibly do on the car, honestly. It's 6 bolts or 6 nuts. They're all exposed. Now you're taking off the nuts that mount the top of the suspension to the car, but the car is sitting on it, so you don't have to worry about it coming out of there. Only if the car was off the ground, you'd have to worry about it. So I've already cracked these loose. Don't worry, they were not loose already. You just take these off, and this actually reminds me, one of these days we're gonna do another install with a component that I've been wanting to put on here for a while, made by Wonderladen. I'll go into it in detail when we do it, but it's a nice little accessory to the suspension system. But you take these 6 nuts off. Set this through those bolts there. Make sure your battery cable's out of the way, you're not pinching anything, and then just put it back on. It's really as simple as that. And this is just going to tie the shock towers together a little bit more positively, a little bit more stiff. Nice PRL logo right there. And of course, you know, this is like modular, so, or not modular, but you know, it's multiple pieces. So if you want, you can take this off and powder coat it your own color. You could powder coat the ends of the strut tower, the steel part. So, you know, if you wanted to make this match your engine bay scheme, color scheme a little bit more, you could totally do that. those two bigger bushings that I talked to you about, this is what they're going to replace down here. This is a smaller one, and then there's a bigger one right underneath this red hot charge pipe, or cold charge pipe. So as you can see, you know, inside of there, there's some rubber bushings. I can even feel, you know, just pressing in there, I can feel the rubber in there, and they're just a little bit soft. That's what those bushings are replacing in there. Almost forgot. I mean, we're right here. We installed the PRL strut bar. The oil cap has got to go. And this is a great install video too, just in case you don't know. What you do is you take this off, and then you take the other one and you put it back on, and you spin it like that clockwise. Make sure it goes clockwise. Installed. There you go. Look at that. Much cleaner. That's the PRL strut bar. Hopefully that helps you make any decisions that you're trying to make with your car. Really easy, inexpensive, but effective mod made by a really, really awesome company. So let us know if you have any questions again. And yeah, we're excited to keep working on our 10th gen Civic. It's been a long project, doing a little bit here, a little bit there. But we are not done. We are far from done. So we'll see you next time.